See, that wire's got to go into that little fitting thing. So we'll get that in there before we go ahead and do anything else. That's our cruise control wire we got to get in there. Get in there closer. I'll reach through the inside. It's going good. Thanks for asking. How about you? Oh yeah, I got a lot better angle to grab it here. It should be good. Hopefully. It just kind of gets obstructed on the transmission dipstick too. But I see totally where it's supposed to be its final parking spot. So that's good. There we go. We got it fully seated. That's good. There. Now we can proceed. Like it's supposed to go under it. Just gotta be careful. There you go. That's better. And now it's not got tension on it. No, it doesn't have the tension, I mean. pretty much figured out where to put it now. I'll bring you guys in here and show you what I'm doing. Yeah, see now that's perfect. Yeah. All right. So we got the throttle body pretty good. It's situated spot where it's supposed to be relatively. So if anybody's tuning in yesterday, I ordered the new valve cover gaskets yesterday after the live because we're trying to put them in and they got swollen up from being exposed to the oil. So they're like a one-time use gasket, so they're on the way now for the valve cover. So we just gotta wait for that to come in, but that's okay. And then also I'm gonna spin this around so this gets oriented in the right direction, because I think it's over too much this way. I think I can, yeah, I think that's okay to just do that. It's still pretty tight. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, so I think it has to do one more spin and then it gets situated in that little area. So this can come back out. I got a better pair of these slip joint pliers. I forgot. I got a whole SK set in the other toolbox. They're better. I think I'll grab them. But it's getting closer to being just little bit by little bit. We got the throttle body pretty much right where it needs to be. So that's not that bad putting that in. One thing I noticed is there's just hardly any good videos showing where everything was going. But I got a good idea where it goes now. And I'll show you. So, let me zoom it in. So there, that throttle body plate right there, there's a little mount and it gets sandwiched with the ignition coil module. See that stud right there? They all use the same stud. And then it's the way it's indexed, it's gonna land on another stud in front with the other part of the mount. Then the last part goes in that little mini screw on the top, on this throttle body itself, and that's it. Then just make sure your lines are in there and they're not pinched on stuff, and it's good to go. We just torqued this all down yesterday, this upper intake manifold, the throttle body. So that's good to go. We're gonna put the fuel line. Actually, I don't know if we can yet. Depends if it obstructs the valve cover area. I don't think it did, but that goes up into the spider injector. We can get that situated too. First, we'll get this oil pressure sender in its right spot, because that's too loose right now. That's gonna leak if you try to run it like that. We want to get it tightened down and cinched down and go on with life. So we're gonna do that now. I'm gonna grab those pliers I was talking about. As an added bonus, it's getting easier to move here in the garage now with a lot of these parts being installed. always kind of forget I have this whole pliers set in there. These SKs. It's nice to balance. They got like the locking. When you let go of the lever, it stays wherever you're putting it. And then they got like these jaws. So we're gonna try it out on this. Cinch it up. When you use it, you can cinch it up while holding it. So it gets you in the relative ballpark of where you want to be. Okay, there we broke it loose. You have to take the sender unit back off. We can spin that other one around. Because I was looking at diagrams of what it looked like before, and it was pointing in the wrong direction. That's not going to work. The pigtail's not going to be long enough to reach it if it stays in that spot. Almost there, but not quite. And this, we can spin it with this adjustable wrench. Basically like a 180, about a little more than a 180. Oh, yeah, but a little bit more. About one full one, just 180 and we're good. Or no, like a 360 actually. If you guys just tune in today, this thing got boogered up before when I first took it apart, and I realized that on more research I needed a new one of these because this clip was broken on the other side. And I got a new one on the way, so we'll change that out when it comes in. That way we don't have like intermittent and misfire stuff due to the connectivity from that thing not having the clip on the other side. Because I don't want to go in here anymore and I have to. Just want to set it and forget it kind of thing. Just get it done right and go on. So if I try to cheap out and not get that clip, or the thing with the new clip, I think it's going to cause me lots of problems I can avoid if I just change it. It's a new GM one coming, so that's peace of mind too. Hey, that looks pretty good. How's it going, Sight? Kimmel? Stopping. I think this is about right where we want it. Okay, so this, we'll put some of this thread sealant / the set thread locker on it. It's basically blue Loctite with thread sealant mixed, pre-mixed already. That way this thing won't leak. Probably plenty there. We'll smooth it out with use like this old glove. Then we'll install. Just don't want the excess getting everywhere. Okay. And that's just blocking up the distributor hole. We're going to be putting the distributor into coming soon. I think possibly today we could do that. Yeah. So here we go. Putting this in. There's not a whole lot in this region. Then there's just the fuel lines and a couple pigtail wire plugins. Then we can see if this sensor plugs in. I think this is the right one right here. Okay, it's on the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, that goes fine. We'll tighten it down first and then we'll lock it in.
Preferably I'd like the right wrench for this kind of thing, but it's kind of a weird shape. So just being careful with these. These seem to lock in pretty good though. Like the SK V-grip pliers, I think they're called, something like that. Almost too tight on there. I'll make sure these gloves don't get caught in it. I'm just gonna move them for now. So this sensor right here we're working on is for the oil pressure for your gauge reading. So if this isn't in there and plugged in, then you're not going to get oil pressure reading. You probably have leaks too if it's not hooked in either. Okay, I think that's, try to get a little more turns out of it. That thing's not sticking on there so good. Maybe a pipe wrench on there would help. But it's kind of like a weird shaped knot on the end of it, so that makes it a little more challenging. Maybe I'll try these on it. Yeah, these work better. Oh, no, it stopped. I guess it's done. You just needed that little bit extra. All right, so go ahead and plug that sensor in. Okay, that's still there. Yeah, so it looks like the, okay, this is the purge right here. We'll wait on putting that in because we still have to put the valve covers in there. So new valve cover gaskets are on the way. These ones got boogered up. Well, they just swell and popped out when you take them off. So you just have to get new ones. Even though those were new ones, they swell up and they're like 2 or 3 inches longer than they're supposed to be after sitting in the oil. So something to take note of if you're doing valve cover stuff. There's a good chance those gaskets will have to be changed out, even if they're newer. I just bought those like 6 months ago, so something I learned. They stretch a lot, like 2 or 3 inches longer, so it won't fit at all. You gotta trim off like that much, and then it's too wide and fat and it's all swollen. So let's get the fuel line in there next and see if that mocks up in here. Let me grab some of these parts. They're sitting in the back of the van. The battery's disconnected on the van right now because I'm messing with the alternator and stuff, so I didn't want to short anything out. Looks like I put them in a different part of the garage. Man, it must be in the back seat. Just the fuel line connector. I think it's underneath this stuff here. There's a bunch of airbox stuff in the very back here. All the stuff's important. You can't put it back together without any of this stuff. So. There's an RTV pack. Yeah, I thought it was in here. Okay. I know this stuff's close by. I don't just throw stuff that comes out in the trash can. Oh, I see it. It got underneath the driver's seat somehow. Yeah, there it is. There we go. Now we can proceed. Here we go, guys. This little thing. Our fuel rail. It's oriented in like that. Okay, let's do that now. Alright, we got all these little brackets I've been looking for. Perfect. So this goes into here ultimately. I'll try to get the view for you. Right there, these little plugs got to come out. We'll keep those for safekeeping to plug other various things in the future. Okay. So then this goes in here in those little holes. Let's make sure they're pretty clean. So. Oops, gotta bounce down a little bit. There. I probably can come from this angle actually. And I don't have to hold it either. Let's see. I think it's close. Okay. Right here is where we're working. I'm gonna try to go up a little bit so you can see it downward. Alright, that's pretty good. Okay, there's this little bracket where it goes into. Once it's situated. Oh, looks like it goes up here. No, it goes over here. Yeah, that makes more sense right there, because that's what the picture showed too, so why would it be in the other spot? There we go. I'm gonna wipe some of the dust off it. There. So this goes over top, sandwiched with these, yeah, just like that. And these little nuts. Just test fit it. Okay, here's the other one. A good mock-up of this stuff on there. I'm gonna put a dab of Loctite on it. Doesn't take much. This is not very big thing. You just don't want nothing vibrating loose, or having to remember if you had Loctite or not. So. Just want it on the threads. That's what you're focusing on. There, that's plenty. As long as it's got some on there, that's good. I'll get a little wrench on there. I'm not sure what size it was off the top of my head here. That's too big. This might be it. Yeah, I think they're 5.5s. And I just used a 5.5 yesterday. I think this is it right here. Yeah, let's try this. Okay, that's not a 5.5. That's too small. All right. Looks like it's an 8 or something. Yeah. That's weird. Here's an 8. Yeah, it's an 8. That's a nice wrench for this application too. I just picked this set up a few weeks ago from the Tecton. I like that 45-degree offset for that kind of stuff. Because otherwise it'd be obstructing into this, messing up your arc swing. So we're going to cinch it up pretty good. Then we'll pop the other nut off and then put some Loctite on the threads of that. Then get them both down nice and snug. And I know this isn't going to have super high torque because it's small fastener. So it's probably with an inch pound. So don't go too crazy over torquing this and breaking stuff. I keep thinking I got a regular wrench, so I keep trying to pull it off, but I don't have to because it's got that 45-degree offset. I can almost do like a whole 180 degrees of turning. It's not obstructing anything. Okay, it's starting to get tight. Pop this one off. Carefully, don't lose this nut. Okay. Get a little Loctite in there. Let's put it right on the fastener. That's good. Start a little by hand. All right, onto the wrench. All right, this one's kind of obstructing a little bit. I might probably use a regular socket. Probably like a deep socket. So a deep 8. I might have one sitting right here. No, it's an 11. I'll grab a deep 8. Oh, we grabbed a medium 8. Medium, or a semi-deep rather. They're pretty handy to have It's like in between the deep and shallow. Yeah, that works great. Do a little bit by the ratchet, cinch it up, and go on to the next thing. And this thing we're going to choke up a lot on the ratchet because we don't want to overpower, like over torque this stuff. So my hand's way up on the near the head of it, the snug. The reason why I bounce back and forth is because it starts to cant the little plate a little bit, and you got to try to keep it even with the pressure on both sides. Because one side will start to go down more than the other, and it'll tip it a bit, and vice versa. So there, it's snug. Now, the bracket right here is a hold down bracket. That's what we're focusing on next, which isn't very complicated. Just got to get it lined up in there. It's just slightly trying to go the other direction a little bit. I'll show you. So I think this is the right thread, bolt for it. Because I test fit it earlier. Excuse my hand in the way for a minute here. Trying to do this so the threads don't get obstructed by the thing you're torquing down, because that thing will cut into this and make it all cross thread and weird and janky. We don't want that. Oh, so this purge can go into here too, this line. Whoops. Supposed to lock in there. Okay, there. It locks in when you have that tab pushed in. So that's done. Just don't want dust and stuff getting in there. I'll make sure this bolt goes in there. Possibly the wrong one. I think this one might be the one. Just try them by hand, so that way you're not cross-threading it and damaging stuff that makes a pain to fix. Or it might be this one. So that's the three that are there. It's one of these three. Yeah, I think it's this one. I think one of these long ones is for your distributor hold down. That's got a lot of threads. So these lines are going to go right into these orifices, fittings, right after we get this all mocked in. I think what I should do is get this in place first and then put these down. So I'll loosen those up just so it has a little bit of play so I can get it in place. It's not a big deal. Sometimes things, they don't go in unless it has that little bit of extra travel play. So it can't have it totally tight. It was like that for the valve cover stuff too. Or the valves, I mean. Like the rocker arms and push rods. Kind of have to have it kind of finger tight before you can do it. Yeah, it's got a little bit of extra play, just like I need. Not a ton, but just enough. Stuff out of here. The amount of tension on that's insane. It was like that even before I got that in there, though. Threads are dirty. I feel like I should just run the tap through it. I'll get to see if it's the metric or standard because I got it mixed in between right here. Let's see if it's this one. No, I mean the smaller one. No, that's too small. Yeah, I think it's that. These tabs are pretty cool because they got the head on them for putting a wrench or a ratchet, a socket on it. Not sure what size that is. We'll see. Not a 10, it's just a little bit bigger. I had an 11 sitting here, maybe that's what it is. Here's a half. Seems to kind of work. I think it's too big though. I'll grab a socket. Yeah, it's an 11 apparently, I think. Possibly. More like a wrench needed in there though. Yeah, it's starting to resemble what it's supposed to. It's just a little bit by little bit getting there, guys. That's how it is. Yeah, it's an 11. I got this. I'll use this on it. See, it's digging into my back. Wow, it hurts. There we go. That's better. This thing's annoying. I'm gonna pull it back out a little bit. Thought we could get it there, but not quite yet. It's okay. That's probably okay like that, though. There, it's pretty much out of the way now. Yeah, it's going in there pretty smooth. Those threads are pretty dirty. I couldn't really run the fastener in by hand very deep. Didn't want to cause overpressure and crack anything. Probably not going to happen, but it could. Try this one. I'm not usually a fan of these adjustable wrenches, but sometimes they're useful for stuff like this. Low torque applications like this, because it's just basically turning the tap through. We're not cutting threads with it, so it's a lot less chance of damaging, rounding off the fasteners. These things are notorious for rounding off fasteners if you try to do high torque things with them. I try not to use them at all if I can, for any reason, but sometimes stuff like this would be okay, I guess. Excuse me, feel like it bottomed out now. There. See what comes off the tap here. There's some gunk. Bumping into stuff. See if I can get it in view for you. right in the flutes a little bit. Wipe it off and try to put that fastener in there now. And we took a lot of the tension off the fuel line, so it has a good chance of going in better now. Let's see. Yeah, it's less tension. It's still not like no tension, but we'll take what we can get. Man, that cookie from Whataburger giving me some heartburn, man. Whew. I take it. Tom's going up here. Like a chocolate chip cookie. I guess I won't eat those from there anymore. I like them, but they don't like me. Sure what size. I think it's like I think this half might work right here. Yeah. Is it getting on there? Kind of. It's tight. It's on there. Bam. Now I can put a ratchet on it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a lot better since chasing those threads, too. I won't go too crazy with it because we got to get this cinched up. Tap it down with something to improvise hammer here. Let's tap it with this handle. Kind of too big. Maybe this handle. Just want to kind of seat it enough so I can get the threads started. Of course, there's no travel upward, really. Oh, I think I got enough to get it. Yeah, there we go. That's enough. And it's soft. Did the trick. Put these nuts on carefully so I don't lose them. Make sure that don't cross thread. Yeah, got a good start of those threads. This one's still on. All right. We'll cinch these up a little bit before we get too carried away and tighten that all the way out. Or bottomed out. I want to get like some of those half moon type wrenches. I haven't got a chance to get my hands on some of them yet. But it's nice having these 45-degree angle for the obstructions. And the way a lot of stuff's all in weird stuff, like all over the place like that, it's helpful to have as many type of tools like that as you can. The options, just having the options really helps. Let's see about this one. I think that one is the one I use the socket on. Yeah, the socket I just put over here. The 8, yep, 8 semi-deep. can socket them both. Life a lot easier on myself. Make sure that gets locked on the pawl here. Okay. Okay, try to choke up on the ratchet just so I don't break stuff. There, that's good. Then we'll get this thing down. Do a little more torque on this one. And then get these fuel lines connected. So the mechanical part of it all will be done. Just having to get this new pigtail thing. Well, I mean, we could probably even put it in. I mean, yeah, I think I could potentially just zip tie it through here. And put the lock tab on this side. Because I did order the new one. I guess I can just keep it for spare. If I get this one to work without it. If I just zip tie it down with the little parts that are barely left with the little stubbies. Because I don't have a new one. Because I have a 98 Blazer that takes the same stuff as this. So I'm not going to be like, oh, I wasted money. That could potentially be used on something in the future, if something totally catastrophic failure kind of thing. I just don't think I have zip ties anymore. I think I have to pick up a pack, or I misplaced them. I thought I had a ton of them somewhere here. But here's this tab I'll show you guys. I'm trying to get it in here, and you can't see it on that side. Oh, we got some comments here. Good morning. Are the parts showing up today? Good question, Star Key. Oh no, not wet farts. I had like the heartburn going on from that cookie from Whataburger, man. The cookie was good. It's just it doesn't like me with the digestion part. Crow fronts are good. I have a set of them. Not complete set. Like, well, it's a set. It's a complete set, but it's like, I don't know, not as many of the sizes that I wish it did have. So what I was showing you guys here, I'm gonna get the light in here. But man, dude, that Whataburger, guys, if you guys have heartburn problems with like tomatoes and stuff, I'd say stay away from that chocolate chip cookie from Whataburger. That's some like vicious heartburn going on. I'll take some Tums. Try to get the light in here. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. So it's got these little, make sure you can see it. Yeah. Excuse me. Tabs on it and stuff. Little male ends. I'm trying to make sure these go all where they're supposed to. Okay, yeah. So engages into the tab itself right here, the little pickup tab. It prevents it from going back out. Then it goes into this part here too. So just straight bottom that thing out, or try to. Unless I broke it, didn't realize that. I don't think I did. Hang on, I'm fighting that heartburn here. This stuff is brutal. It didn't even taste like an acidic type of food, you know. Usually it's the acidic stuff. Okay, I can see why. It doesn't look like that thing's seated all the way. The actual plug itself. I think. Of course, the AC lines are always in the way. Okay, it is bottomed out as far as it's gonna go down. That tab there, so I think. Whoops. I gotta take like 2 tums, man. That stuff's brutal. I think I got it. Kinda. Yeah, that's it. It just sits like that. Then I want us to remember to zip tie the other part. So I made it work. It's like I kind of, you know, get worried about stuff not working, so I ordered the part anyway. But we'll have it. Okay, moving on. Get this cinched up a bit. That's pretty good. Bring my socket back. Had some gunk on the top of the head of the bolt, so it was a tight interference fit on there apparently. So here we go. We're gonna put these fuel lines in now, and he's got nice new genuine GM. I'm catching my breath. Oh, the little fuel ring O-rings here, fuel line O-rings rather. These were covered up while I had it torn apart. Let me make sure you guys can see what I'm talking about. That's better. So I have a stack, well not a stack, I have a few spares for when these get boogered up. That one looks kind of boogered up. Hang on a second. I think it's the old one. Pieces from the old one that was up in this. Because the main body of it looks fine. Just want to make sure they're seated. Kind of like when you're doing your power steering line stuff. Just want to make sure they're seated in. Because that O-ring's the only thing that seals these. With that pressure. So we'll get them mocked up. Before they get tightened in. So just kind of get it loosely in there. Well, I figured out from doing the power steering line stuff. Get it just in there enough, and then start getting it by hand. Put in. Make sure you just don't cross thread it. Hang on, I'm fighting that heartburn, guys. Try to turn it counterclockwise to get the thread started, then go clockwise. There we go. It started. Same with this one. Okay, slipped in clockwise now. Okay, so then these, you're gonna need like the 2 wrenches, one to hold the thing stationary and the other one to turn it. All right. Trying to think. I think those are like a 14 or a 15. I got some flare nut wrenches too here. We'll try these wrenches. I think the other one's like an 18 or 19. these here in this stack. Let's try these. I think to help it out too, I think could spray a little brake clean on these threads. Probably wouldn't hurt either. And then wipe it with a rag. I don't know what's out there because I used it yesterday. Okay, I found it. Here it is. No, that's not it. Alright, we'll just put some acetone on it. Or I'll probably find it. Oh, I found it over here. Okay, let's continue. This pigtail out of here. Okay. Seems like that heartburn subsiding a little bit. Kind of some gunk coming off of it. That looks a lot better though. Right, let's try these wrenches we got. So 19 fits pretty good for the big nuts. The stationary big nut. And then, let's see what this is. 5/8 fits pretty good on there. Let's go with that. And just make sure we're tightening it. It should be this direction. Get it in there. Just making sure we're not cross-threaded. We're not. It's not fighting me real hard. think it's bottomed out. That one's good. This one now. We'll get it started like this, then put the big wrench on the nut once it gets more tight or tighter. Ooh. 5/8 fits really good on this. Okay, we're gonna put the big wrench on there, get it set up tight. That one's good. There. Make sure our Schrader valve's in here. Should be. I don't remember taking it out. Yep. Put the cap back on. There. Now on to the other stuff that needs to be done. We got a bunch of accessory stuff to do in here, core hoses and stuff up here. So going Danny. Yeah. Yeah, the tomatoes is bad for me, man. Usually I don't have a problem with cookies though. Apparently Whataburger cookies. That thing was good, man. I thought something was too good to be true with that cookie. Oh. And you worked at a shop, you used to take out seats. Yeah, I did do that earlier when I took the transmission out of this, and I put the rear main seal, and I redid a bunch of seals on all the stuff. I took them apart in between. I had the seats out for that. Then when the spider injectors started going wonky, I was like, I already torqued it down. I don't really want to take the seats out. So even though it's only 4 bolts on each one, I was like, I already did it earlier. I don't really want to. And I'm making it work without taking the seats out. So it is possible to do all this fun stuff with the seats still intact. So what we got to do here is we got to get this exhaust manifold stuff rectified. But that's not as interesting for you guys to watch. So what we're going to do is go up front and do the stuff that's easier for you guys to see. And it's not it's kind of really boring watching to do the exhaust manifold stuff. Up here, there's a lot to be done still. Quite a bit, anyway. I mean, that's starting to resemble what it's supposed to. That's a good thing. Let me figure out a good place for you guys to perch. I'm gonna look at because I know a lot of these HVAC lines got to get put in here, especially that thermostat housing one. Then there's some that come off like the. No, that one's good. It's this one that comes. Yeah, it's one that comes off the water pump right here. There's 2 that come off it. And one needs to go into its home. Oh wait, maybe it's already there. Hang on, my bad, guys. I'm slipping. I'm gonna fall off the stool. So it looks like I undid it, and it didn't need to be undone. Because that's just stuff that's not relevant to the intake manifold. I'm gonna try to get the light in here and show you what I'm talking about. But yeah, it definitely helps when you take the seats out of stuff sometimes. It looks like little cobwebs are started in there. That's fun. I probably should have put a little plastic bag on top, but it's okay. We're almost getting done to putting this back together. So right here, if you can see through, I gotta put that hose clamp, cinch it down here where it meets up to I think that's the intake manifold. I think I started putting it on, but I didn't finish the job. Yeah, it just has to go down a little more. Right here. Yeah. So we'll finish the job on that right now. I'll get you guys perched down here so I'm not shaking. When I had to change one of those engines out, I had to cut the rad support, weld it back when I was done to be fast. Yeah, that's a good idea. It as long as you got a good, decent weld job on it and patch it in right. Did that part go good? Because that's the part I worry about. Is it like being strong enough after the welding it back in? Because the older ones, like I think 94 and older, they actually have a bolted in radiator support, so you didn't have to cut it out like this would be. So let me get the remote hose clamp tool in here and put that hose clamp in place so we don't forget. Careful, this little thing was popping out. Keeps doing that occasionally. All goes from the top and then pulls through, I think. Let me get it in position. There, it goes through the front. That's why. It's annoying when that pops out though. Still a good tool though. There's no way I'd get in here with pliers to get these out without this. Ow, pinched my hand. There we go. See, we got it. Just gotta wiggle her down to where she's gotta go. There we go. Yeah. They had a good design, and they're like, oh, let's just have it sealed, and it's not like changeable like the old style. The old style was better in that regard. Then when I release this, what I'm gonna try to do to make it life easier for myself, for anybody who works on this, but more than likely myself in the future. When I let go of this tension clamp, I want to have the little things try to be accessible, preferably like spin it so like 180, so it's like pointing out this way instead of like into nothing like it kind of is right now. So let's try to do that right now, if that's possible. Kind of is. As long as I don't kink this line. That's the main thing. We don't want to kink it on my tool. You don't want to kink your tool. It's not good. Oh, God. So I don't think these will work right if you kink them. Oh, cool. Looks like we're going to get it. Yeah, I just feed it through. And I can have it come off at the other end. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm doing. My hand's slipped. Down a little bit. Whoops. kind of bumped it off the stand. Hang on, guys. Okay, we're back in business. Kind of. Cool. All of a sudden, that cookie heartburn just kind of subsided. All of a sudden, that's weird. Oh, and then we could put this other bolt that's sitting here. It's missing. We'll put that in there too while we're in here. And then we could tighten down this ground and then hook up the alternator. All that fun stuff while we're in here. There's a lot going on in this little corner. All these little details need to be in place before you try to run this thing. So what we were just doing was we're getting it so this cast and tension clamp will be pointed this way when I let go, release the tension off the tool. So that way it's accessible when you come back through. And then I was getting off on a rabbit hole about the other stuff. Well, there. That's about as good as it's going to get for park where you guys are parked for now. So just bear with me for one quick moment here. Get this off here. Here we go. Bam. Tool off. Thread it through. Get our light in the right spot. Oh, that's better. Whew. Okay. I'll put that fastener in for the throttle body, which is right here in my hand. Let me get you to see it. Here, about there. Here we go. I think that's it. That's not in there right yet. Let's see if that's the right thread pitch. This might need... I think that's the wrong thread pitch. I grabbed the other fastener. I don't think it's that one. Looks similar with the head, but the body of it, the shank part's not the same. This one's almost like a screw in my hand. That's not right at all. Trying to get you guys balanced down here too. I could have put a 2x4 down there and then have you guys balance. I didn't think of that. I got a few over here. Hang on. You guys are gonna look at like there for now. Here we go, 2x4. Oh, kind of better. That works. Let me see what we got for fasteners. Now this must be it. I think I just gotta get it to go straight in and line up with the threads. There. Whoops. That's got to be it. I'm going to check inside the vehicle, see if there's anything that looks like that. I don't think it's in there, though. I think that's the right one. Yeah. That's all it could be. That's the only one thing that even resembles with that. So it's just weird that they would put something that's like a screw, basically. It's not even like a bolt, it's a screw. It's weird. But that's it. So we're going to cinch it down. see what it looks like. A 10 millimeter, of course. Alright, this should fit. Let's see. 10 millimeter. Start it by hand a little bit. Yeah, it's about as good as it goes by hand. Gonna put a ratchet on. Oh, what the hood? Yeah, if you don't have that tool, see. Okay, I'm gonna read some of this stuff. You welded it and added a piece of metal. That's what I was thinking. That makes sense. Yeah, and if you don't align it, kind of like when you put the 2-inch lift body spacers on the front on this, it was having clearance issues just slightly with the with the hood closing on this as well for that. It's interesting that you say that. Notice how my hand's choked up on the ratchet. We don't need a ton of torque for this application. You're not way on the handle. Okay. All right. Next, there's the ground right here on the radiator, not the radiator, can't think today. Thermostat housing. I think that's like a 13. Just make sure those wires don't get pinched on stuff. So we're gonna get it in there and tighten it more than just hand. I think that's like, yeah, that's a 10 in here. That 10's not gonna work. Yeah, there's a little fastener just sitting there. What's that all about? That's weird. It's like somebody was messing with the gearbox. It's just a fastener, just like half, like not all the way tightened in. Let me point it out right here. Oh, I gotta get like a stick. Right here, because the shadow. Right down here where I'm pointing. I'm not gonna zoom it in. I gotta take a look into that. I didn't mess with the gearbox at all. For some reason, there's just a backed out fastener sitting there like that. This one was just sitting next to it. I think that's been for like your fan cover and stuff. So that's good to have that. But I'll have to look in more into that. What's going on with that? I didn't touch it, like I said, so we'll look into that. Yeah, the clamps. They're good clamps. It's just you have to have the right tools to work on them. They're better for your hoses and the longevity of your coolant system. They're made that way by the manufacturer for a reason. Because your worm clamps will can make your hoses all pop out and whatnot over time. Because they don't expand and contract like these kind do. So that's the trade-off with that. They work fine. This is something to keep in mind. Okay, then there's a nut to put. Trying to get the stand in, guys. Okay, bear with me here. I'm just thinking, because then we got to put that bracket for mounting the AC and the bracket for the AC and the power steering as well coming up. So we'll go ahead and tighten this fastener down. Okay, looks like you guys can see it behind here. think it's like a 13. Let's try it. It's not a 13, I think it's a 14. Just want to be careful tightening these up too much because they can rip your wiring or the little connector off if you're not careful. I think it's a 15, I think it's 14. Or maybe this 9/16's right here. Let's try that. That's right in between 14 and 15. Huh, what do you know, it fits. I'm gonna finish this up and then I have to call it for now. I think I have to, you gotta put the fastener. We'll continue back on this when I get a chance to come back. I gotta take care of things. But thanks for tuning in, everybody that has been watching, or if you're new here, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you like and subscribe, if you can, that really helps me. We'll pick up off on this when we get a chance. Come back. I'll answer a couple comments before I go. The 3D printer, huh? Sluice box, what's that? How's it going, Pookie? But alright, I'm gonna have to get going now. So great, appreciate it, everybody. There'll be more to come till we get a chance to go live again. Alright. Later, guys.